Well, good morning. It's been a while since I started a video at 5:55, but the gym doesn't open till 7 o'clock this morning, so I got to stay in bed even though I was waking up earlier. I got to stay in bed later than usual. And the title of today's video and the blurb which I wrote yesterday afternoon, the title is "It's Not About Winning Arguments." And the blurb goes like this: My previous video was about loving one another, which to me is the key to all the world's most serious problems. Of course, it's true that discord has been introduced to the human psyche, and at the center of that discord, as I see it, are the endless arguments over who is right. As long as we are engaged in that fight for ego supremacy, we are unable to love and unable to achieve peace in our lives. When we are not at peace, Earth itself is out of balance, matching the human cacophony at some level. A question I am forced to deal with often is, how will we be able to end this huge problem that seems rooted in our twisted psychological makeup? And it's interesting, as I came to the computer 20, 30 minutes ago, I looked at the video that I recorded yesterday and looked at the latest comments, and two of them, which it's a little bit longer than that now, one of them was made 52 minutes ago when I opened that page, and the other one was made 25 minutes ago. So they're relatively recent comments, and the Clear Vision of Truth said, Ron has a huge ego. I have never heard him apologize to all those who followed him um, and misled him. Wait, let's see, I've got that blocked, so let me just minimize that. Followed him and who he misled on Swiss Indo or OPPT or the Ambassador. And Clear Vision of Truth, that was, wait a minute, that was Diane Fernberg made that comment. And Clear Vision of Truth responded, Peter Van Runt made an apology and provided a full explanation for those who he had steered into Swiss Indo. It would be great to hear something like that from Ron eventually. I find this really interesting about the big ego thing. If a big ego means that I have a strong sense that I'm here for a purpose, then I have a big ego. Okay? I've had that all of my life since I was a child, since I was, as I've said in other videos, not even 10 years old. And it's not about winning arguments. It's about seeing the kingdom of heaven manifest on earth. What does the kingdom of heaven look like? Well, for one thing, to me, there's got to be justice. There's got to be truth. There's got to be egolessness in so far as I'm right and you're wrong. It's not about being right and wrong. It's not about that. It's about being loving. That's what the whole thing, the whole spiritual journey is about, remembering who we are and learning to love ourselves and to love one another. If we can do that, when we can do that, we will change the face of the world. We will change the way the world works. It works the way it does because things have been distorted and we don't know who we are. We don't remember that we are children of God, that we are called with a high calling to balance all of these, the cacophony of different voices and different things that distract us from remembering who we are and from centering ourselves. And it's not easy because the whole world seems bent in that direction. Now, about Swiss Indo, OPPT, or the Ambassador that Diane Fernberg says are leading people astray. Did Swiss Indo make mistakes? Absolutely. Was Mr. Sugi sort of on an ego grande thing, making himself the king of kings and stuff like that? I, I would tend to agree. that's a little bit overboard. I would never personally want to be more than just another human being speaking on behalf of common sense for God, for the Creator, to balance things back, to bring things back to center, and to harmonize things. OPPT, I don't think there was a whole lot wrong with the OPPT. So what is there to apologize for? I didn't mislead anybody in the OPPT. I mean, Heather certainly does not have a way of speaking normal English. I mean, she speaks in this language that's really hard to understand, even for me. But nevertheless, the idea of it was to remind us that we are children of God, that we are not debtors, that we are creditors, to remind us that we have unalienable rights that are granted in our creation. Has nothing to do with government, has nothing to do with the system. And so the OPPT, there's nothing to apologize about. I didn't lead anybody astray. The central core of that is something that I still believe, just as I still believe in what Swisindo does. And about the ambassador has been a friend to me. He has proven himself time and time again in the respect of, especially when I was sick, especially when I went into the hospital. And I've said this before, he was the one that reached out to my family. He was the one that kept checking to see how I was. He was the one that kept checking with me to see how I was doing when he was able to communicate with me. He has stood by me. I'm not going to criticize that. Do I agree with the ambassador on everything that he says? Well, what he states as the game plan, I certainly do. It's to bring the government back into check, and to set up a system where people's rights are honored and stuff like that. That's how I see it. Okay, that's how I personally see it. Has the ambassador disappointed me? Absolutely. He promised me $5,000 going on a year and a half ago. I haven't seen a dime. I haven't seen a dime. I probably never will, but I don't know that. I don't know that for a fact. He still says it's going to come, but I'm like many people, I'm getting weary of promises that are unfulfilled. That people make promises and they don't follow through on them when they supposedly have the ability to do so. That's why I've reached out to organizations like Swisindo and the ambassador's stuff that claims to have the resources to follow through with what they're claiming that they're going to do. It doesn't happen. It hasn't happened yet, and that's really disappointing. But I'm supposed to apologize because I'm an idealist, because I've had a vision of what the world is supposed to look like since I was all of my life since a boy. Am I supposed to apologize for that? Like, that's a huge ego to say this is what my calling has been. I'm not going to apologize for that. And development of an ego is essential, but to bring it into balance. That's what we're all here for, is to develop a sense of being. It's not to lose our identity and our sense of being and purpose. It's to remember who we are and why we are here. So in any case, I wanted to clarify some of these things, and it's really interesting, the synchronicity of those comments prior to me actually starting this video. I don't even always look before I make the video at what was said most recently in comments. But it must have been ordained today because that's how it has happened. Anyway, again, I want to remind all of us, it's not about who's right and who's wrong. It's not about winning arguments. It's about loving one another and forgiving and for overlooking our faults and failures, because we all have them. I thank you for listening, and please have a nice day. Namaste.